Bihar, where Patna Police have raided a hostel in the city in connection with the ruckus over Agnipath scheme. During the raids, shockingly, Patna Police cops were blown away when a huge quantity of bomb-making goods, ammunition, etc. were recovered from this hostel. Remember, this is a Patel Hostel. The investigation is currently on in this case. Police suspect that this material was kept there to be used in making bombs. Based on intelligence that the police had, they cracked down and raided this hostel, after which all these materials were recovered. Priyank now joins me for more details. Priyank, we did hear of an IB alert that was sent out to Patna Police regarding the same earlier.
Yes, certainly, Priya, because this is not for the first time when something, some arms and ammunition have been recovered from the Patna University campus. But this time, it's very important to see, because the series of, trains which were burned during the agitation which was started against the Agnipath scheme, there was speculation that crude bombs could have been used for burning all these train bogies. But when we questioned the local police officials, they said that there were few suspicious objects which were recovered from a few of the trains, but they could not identify it as a bomb or not, because everything was gutted down because of the fire which started from these bogies. Now these kind of multiple crude bombs being found from the Patel Chhatavas, which is inside the Patna University campus, is certainly a very serious concern for the local authorities, because time and again the involvement of student organization being backed by various political party, being behind the kind of arson which has happened in the state of Bihar, across Bihar, I would say, was something serious. And now, after a special input which was given by the central agencies and the input which was received by the Bihar Police, this raid was carried out, and now the crude bombs have been recovered. Who were the mastermind for whom these crude bombs were being supposed to be delivered is something very serious in nature. And the biggest thing is that whether these crude bombs were also used to burn down the bogies of train in the agitation is something what the Patna Police need to probe.
Right, we've got a reaction coming in from the policeman. Let's listen in.
इस रेड में पटेल छात्रावास से कुछ सामान भी मिली है, कुछ सामग्रियां भी मिली है, जिसे जब्त किया गया है और एफआईआर दर्ज करके उसमें आगे कार्रवाई भी की जा रही है कि वो सामग्रियां किसने लाई और कहां से आया था। जो बरामद सामग्री वो आपत्तिजनक सामान है। अभी हम लोग को लग रहा है कि वो छोटा मोटा जो बम बनाने की सामग्री है उससे संबंधित है, हमने रेड किया था। और इस रेड में पटेल छात्रावास से कुछ सामान भी मिली है, कुछ सामग्रियां भी मिली है, जिसे जब्त किया गया है और एफआईआर दर्ज करके उसमें आगे कार्रवाई भी की जा रही है कि वो सामग्रियां किसने लाई और कहां से आया था। वो जो बरामद सामग्री वो आपत्तिजनक सामान है। अभी हम लोग को लग रहा है कि वो छोटा मोटा जो बम बनाने की सामग्री है उससे संबंधित है, हमने रेड किया था।
Aditya Vaibhav also joins us for more details. Aditya, we saw several incidents of rampaging, ruckus and violence in Bihar. Danapur being an example that was cited often, crores worth of property being lost in the violence. And now this recovery of bombs clearly shows that these are not just isolated incidents. There has to be a bigger hand behind the protests that are raging on the streets.
Of course, I mean, from the first day, we had been pointing out that these protests are not organic, but they are organized. And this raid conducted by Patna Police on Patel Hostels, basically, that led to the recovery of as much as 1,100 grams of gunpowder, besides other auxiliaries required for making bombs, is concerned. This categorically adds to that particular assertion. And that being said, this is something that the state government and also the district administration should take some proactive measures so as to reduce such occurrences in the future. And interesting to note here is that this hostel is of Patna University, and the recovery has been made from an abandoned room. So another question that raises at this very point of time is that, I mean, who was there to access an abandoned room inside a government hostel, and such a recovery is made after that?
Okay, have there been any arrests in this case?
No, not exactly, because the room was abandoned and there was no, you can say, legal inmate or occupant who could have been blamed for this. But that being said, an FIR has been registered on unnamed accused person, so there is no identification of who brought the material there and to the subsequent recovery.
Right. We've also known of IB reports, Aditya, which said that in the name of Agnipath scheme, there might be attempts to destroy harmony and peace, and all police stations must be in alert mode. Do you know of any more such raids being planned on the basis of this intelligence?
Well, this is something most of the district administrations and the district police concerned, they are conducting raids at multiple locations, but then in order to keep it very secret and keep it very low profile, they just don't allow it to transpire outside. But then there are multiple locations.
Managed to speak to the administration of this particular Patna hostel. How was it possible that in their compound there were explosive materials?
Well, if at all we talk about the administration of the hostel and also the university, they are clearly tight-lipped on the entire issue, citing that the investigation is already on and that the people might get a tip and they just vanish away before the agencies actually nab them.
Right.